All right, so this is our weekly episode. Today we're gonna, what we do every week under the banner called "What Would a Lawyer Do," and then kind of talk about, like, if you get into car accident, if you're a tenant who wouldn't leave, if your landlord is doing something that he or she's not supposed to do. So we're just gonna talk about, okay, if I were in your situation, what would we do, right? So kind of thing, right? And then you just kind of get to, we just try to pick each other brain and what would we do if I were in your situation. So Avi, what are we talking about today?
Well, today is a question that I get asked at least, I would say, once a week, if not more often. If somebody is involved in a motor vehicle accident, whether it's their fault, not their fault, sometimes as lawyers we get frantic calls at all hours of the day or night. I was just in a car accident. What should I do? So I thought it'd be a great idea, especially with your expertise, Jay, with the personal injury and motor vehicle accident field. I thought, let's talk about, if it was you, Jay Cho, God forbid you were in an accident, what should you do? What are the at least in the immediate day or two? What's the next steps you do?
Yeah, I mean, I recently was in a car accident last October, right? And was just like little small one, not a big one. But so we have to understand. So let's talk about, okay, you get into car accident, right? It's a small car accident, like the one that I was in. So I was going down straight on a Dufferin, and then the car was making a left-hand turn into a private driveway, or like I think it was courthouse right at Dufferin and Finch. So he was coming in, I was passing lane, my lane to my left was all kind of like there was a traffic. So he was just coming in, the other cars were just kind of letting him, go into the, past the center median, go into the private driveway. I didn't see him. I couldn't stop in time. So I put on my brake and, just in there, we just clipped. So when you say clipped, it wasn't like, boom. She was like, I was almost stopping time. He was almost stopping time, but we just collided it, right? So in that case, when you look at the logistics of how the accident occurred, I am 100% not at fault. The other driver is 100% at fault because he was making a left-hand turn, right? So I wouldn't worry too much about liability. So the first thing I would have done is, I would just, if I can, if it's safe to do so, I would get out of the vehicle and, take pictures of where the cars are, right? If you have a dash cam, that's amazing. Everyone should have a dash cam. If you ask me, do I have a dash cam? No, I'm too lazy to get it. I should.
Right,
but if you have one,
the shoemakers' kids don't wear shoes, right? So
wow, yes, that's good. That's good analogy. Yeah. So I should. I don't. I think I should. Maybe after this video, I should go get one. But if you have a dash cam, it's easy. Like a liability could always prove it. And in my line of work, I have a dash cam footages. So then I had one case where the Apple driver said, you know what, I did this. He was 100% at fault, but he said, no, I wasn't. I was just going straight. Your client's vehicle came out of nowhere. She had a dash cam. Actually, she didn't have a dash cam, but we got it was actually right at her workplace. So she got a security camera footage. It would show that the other driver was lying. So it was fun to get that, like footage, but, dash cam. So if you don't have dash cam, if it's safe to do, to get out of the vehicle, if you can, that is, like, if you're hurt, don't move. Call 911. If you feel like something's broken, you don't feel something, then don't get out of the vehicle. But most of the time, I would say 99, hopefully 80 to 90% time, you're just a little shocked. It's like, oh man, this happened. So get out of the vehicle, take a picture, and then talk to the other driver if you can. Otherwise, if it's on the middle of the highway, don't try to do that. Move the vehicle to where it's safe to do so, right? Usually what happens is, unless the liability is very, I would say, it's very, wishy-washy. Most of the time, by looking at the damages, you got rear-ended. Your damage is on the back, the other car's damage in the front. They know that it was rear-ended. There's no liability. So I would move the car to somewhere safe first. And then the second thing I would do is exchange the information, right? A lot of people worry about liability. Liability, don't worry at that point. Take some pictures of the vehicle. If you go to collision center, they'll take pictures as well. We're talking about the collisions that not crazy major. Exchange the information with the other driver, the other driver who's involved in the car accident. Make sure you get their driver's license, make sure you get their pink slip, which is insurance slip. Make sure you get their registration. Sometimes you would see that maybe insurance is expired, registration is not there. And then usually the police officers wouldn't respond unless there's more than I think it's $2,000 damage or $1,500 damage. So you don't want to call 911. Don't want to wait there unless you're hurt, right? Unless somebody in your car is hurt, right? So that's a very minor car accident. Now, there's a situation.
You were saying that if the registration is not there or if the insurance is expired, what should we do?
I mean, in that case, you have a two choice. You could call the police, right? And then police comes and the other guys gets a ticket. But again, I mean, if it's a minor accident, why waste your time, right? Because you got to be there 2 to 3 hours, right? And it doesn't really, because the insurance doesn't matter, getting your medical rehabilitation, getting your, car fixed. We have something called no fault insurance. So it doesn't matter who's at fault. You get your car fixed, you get your medical rehabilitation anyway. So it doesn't matter who's at fault. So at this point, just check that, make a note of it. Unless you see that there's a damage, unless there's, somebody's not hurt, somebody get transported to ER, then you have to call the police and they'll check all that and the other person will get a ticket, right? So, so that's like a minor accident. The second tier of accident would be, airbag deployed, right? So that you get smokes coming out, you feel like, dazed a little bit, or you're in shock, you can't really move, or doors actually rammed in that you can't really open the door. In that situation, somebody's going to call 911. If not, call 911, right? And do mention that airbag deployed, and you feel like you're hurt somewhere and you're afraid that you don't want to move anywhere right now. Your lower back or neck is maybe strained severely, and then ambulance will come and the police will come to the scene. And then at this point, you don't more have to worry about, should I get the other person's driver's license? Should I get the other person's pink slip? Police will do that and give you actually a copy of the one-page police report. Has all that in Toronto. They actually have a printout they will give you, or they give you like something called occurrence number, so that you could actually later pull the motor vehicle report. Oh, just one thing to note, that if you actually make a collision self-collision report, you could actually pull this up online. You could actually go to their website, and then you could actually pull the collision report later on if you misplaced it. Why
would you need the collision report?
You know what? So two things. I mean, your insurance company would definitely want a copy of it. So they want to know how the accident occurred, who's on the other side, who's the insurance company for the other driver. So they want maybe a copy of it. Now, if you feel that it can't work because of car accident, you felt like, the day of the accident, you felt okay. The next day, a few days after, pain's increasing, you have some kind of PTSD, psychological issues, so you can't work. And then you start thinking about, can I go back to my normal daily, life within the next few months? If you don't think, there's going to be a case, then you might want to consult a lawyer, right? So someone like us, right? So then you need a, collision report, because we need all that information, right? But it's good to just retain a copy of it anyways, for insurance reporting purposes, because insurance company, for minor accident, you will have to call your insurance company to make a claim, but they will require all this information: the other driver's, license number, the other driver's policy, insurance information. It's good to have this information handy, right? So you could take a picture, or you could have the self-collision report handy with you, so you could just refer to all this information. So, okay, going back to, so when I say second tier of accident, is that you don't feel like anything's broken, but you're engaged. So call 911. Definitely at that point, if the airbag deployed, even if it didn't deploy, you feel like it's more than a minor accident where your car is not drivable, then it's better to call the police and EMS. They will come assess you, fire trucks, and help you to see, they'll do the triage and see if you have to go to the hospital, ER or not. Because sometimes a lot of people, if you have an airbag deployed, if you have like a really like T-bone accident at a full speed, most people will suffer something called concussion. Minor, probably minor in nature though. You're probably vomiting, nausea and stuff like that. So it's good to just have you checked out, go to ER, seen by medical professionals. Yeah. Now, if you have what I called third tier of accident, where it's a major car accident. And, at that point, you're probably going to wake up in the hospital somewhere. So don't worry, people will take care of everything. But at that point, I think you should definitely consult a lawyer because, not because you want to start making a claim, but if you want to get better, because there's a lot of things you have to have in place, right? So say, we have a lot of clients who has broken bones, right? Say, you have broken ankle because or broken femur, or like a leg or hand, because then you will need attendant care. You will need like personal care. Like it's almost like you don't realize how much if you can't use your right arm, there's a lot of things that you cannot do. You can't go to washroom properly.
I guess also taking care of laundry and house maintenance and just the day-to-day chores, I guess, that you do on a regular basis, not having the use of one of your major limbs, a hand, that would be very difficult. So you're saying that the lawyer can actually help coordinate getting all those services in place.
That's correct. Like your insurance company will pay for it, but there's systems in place where you have to first be assess how much help you need, and then you have to have these professionals, PSWs, to be arranged to come to your house. All these things should happen within the first 2 weeks of the accident. But for you to arrange all that while you're in so much pain with a painkiller, it's not really possible. So usually lawyers don't charge for these services. Is usually we do something called contingency. We could probably do another episode on that one, but meaning you don't pay until there's a settlement from the insurance company. So you don't have to worry about paying these lawyers or professionals. Call somebody, they'll arrange everything for you. But going back to, because we're not talking about whole process, we're talking about right after the accident, right? So or a day or two. So right after the accident, I said 3 tiers accident, minor, maybe somewhat major, and then catastrophic, crazy accident. But in any event, once you do that, call the insurance company, get a claim number, and then you should start try to see your family doctor. So if you haven't gone to ER, that's fine, but try to go see your family doctor or walk-in clinic. If your family doctor is really booked up, because of COVID-19, they're not accessible. Yeah, call your family doctor and have an appointment. Just have you checked out. That's probably what I would do within the first week. See your family doctor, make a claim to your insurance company, and then go set up a collision center report.
Sounds good. Okay. Well, thank you for that information. Hopefully nobody needs this for a long time and everybody stays away from car accidents. But bottom line is, if there is a car accident, those are very good, pointers for the immediate steps. And then once things are settled, you reach out to your lawyer to basically canvass what's next after that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think you could come to our website, like a Google YouTube channel, where I'm doing an episode about, sort of what are the income supplement benefits are. What are the things that you have to do after a car accident in more detail. So you could check out our playlist on personal injury and get more information, or you could always call our office to get more information or have a free consultation with one of our lawyers.
Thank you so much, Jay. It's always a pleasure.
Okay. All right. So
take care.
Nice talking to you, Avi. Okay. Bye.
Good.